Hey guys, my name is Lieutenant Dessler for Two Hands Too Many Games. Lieutenant Dessler is my gamer tag, obviously. My name is Heather, and I'm doing this vlog, I guess, as a thing for me to just go over why I'm doing this channel. Not a lot of people will probably gather that my gamer tag is based off of a military rank. I am former military. I came from the Canadian Forces, spent some time there, and had a lot of fun with it. Unfortunately, I had some, injuries or problems. I originally went into the military with two old fractured knees, and because just the way that I am, I have a tendency to just keep going and going and going to the point, it'll take a lot for me to stop. And I had to leave. So there was some points and times in my life where it was hard to just kind of go. But in terms of just kind of everything, I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed having the camaraderie of people that were kind of almost like-minded. Some of them not so much, some of them yes. And it led to not a change of heart, but more a change of wanting to be able to do something. When I originally joined the military, I had joined a year out of high school, and from there I ended up realizing that I was, mentally too young and not ready to go. I had college lined up, I had stuff that I was working on, and I really wanted to make something of myself at that time. I guess in some ways I was selfish and just not ready to become the adult that I should have been. Came home after I think it was like the first month out of basic, and I ended up going to school. I did my first year of college for criminology, realizing I took the wrong course, and then from there I took the program that I graduated from, Stagecraft and Event Technology, which basically means that when you watch live theater shows, like live productions on, say, Broadway, or in Canada we have something called the Stratford Festival out in Ontario, it means that I could go do those shows and be behind the scenes, meaning I could either work as props, I could work as stage management, I could work as basically whatever I wanted. And to this day, I still do a lot of theater work. I do small community shows when they need me. I design props, I design artwork that is used and seen on stage. However, the majority of my time, and as much as I don't like it, I spend the majority of my time on as a stage manager, and that kind of has helped translate into the work that I do now, which is film. But before I get into film, I'm just gonna kind of lead up into why I'm doing this and why I have this channel. This channel is 4 years old. I kind of started this prior to me leaving for the military, so I had a bunch of old videos. Those videos no longer exist. I don't know where they are. I deleted them. And eventually the channel became rebranded a couple of times, and I ended up doing a bunch of different things. In all honesty, I had no idea what to do with YouTube when it first came out. All I knew is that when I made my first couple of videos, it was actually more for entering into a contest, and it turned out that that was crappy. I did shit, and it didn't work, and I was like, oh god, why did I do this? I had no idea how to edit a video. I really didn't. In some counts, I don't know still how to edit a video. Well, that's not necessarily true. I can edit a video. It's not great. I can see what's in my head and go from there. But it was difficult. I really didn't know what to do. I didn't know about all the stuff that was happening with YouTube at the time, and I just didn't know how to make it work. So my YouTube channel literally sat for a few years. I think I only started putting work and effort into this in the last, I'm going to say the last 2 years. I mean, extensively more so in the last month, where videos have been coming out almost regularly. But it's been hard. It's been difficult for me. I've had a very, very long road and journey, and it's kind of taken its toll. And it's not great for someone to have a toll taken like that on them when things kind of go sideways. During my time in the military and before I left for my second run after I graduated college, and I was working my way through, I lost a really, really good friend of mine, Mark, who died from diabetic coma. And he had served with the U.S. Navy, so for him it was a no-brainer, and the only reason why he had been released is because they had found out that he was a type 2 diabetic, and that, you know, the ankle injury that he had sustained during one of his PT tests kind of set that off. So things had gone wrong with that. That was Mark. And then I went off, and I did my time. I did my bit. I had a lot of fun with it, had a lot of joy, until my leg injuries. I can no longer run. I can no longer do the hardcore ground pounding pavement cardio crap, and it wasn't great. So I had released from the military, and I had come home, and I wasn't in the greatest place because I was in a relationship at that time, and things kind of went sour. So from there, I was looking into what I can do, and what eventually started my career in film was looking up at Craigslist and see if I could find any work that I could, because I couldn't walk properly. I had problems. I couldn't stand for 2-3 hours at a time, so I had to make it work. Eventually, I stumbled across my very, very first gig, and it comes out next month, or this way. My first gig was War for the Planet of the Apes, which comes out next month, and they were looking for soldiers. So that was the first thing I did. I became a soldier for War for the Planet of the Apes. Its background, I don't know if I'll see it myself. We'll find out. It really was a lot of fun. It made me feel comfortable in ways that I missed. And so from there, I continued working in film. I eventually got more gigs. I started doing more roles that led towards the military side of things. And so that led to TV shows. It led to a couple more movies. Still leads to that as well, and it is a lot of fun. And then on the other side, I work as a crew member as well. Right now, I currently work as locations, but with my background in theater that I've been doing for over 12 years now, it leads to me being able to work in different departments. So I'm looking to move into the props department so I can continue doing something that I enjoy doing. Film is not as easy as people make it out to be. Film is actually really difficult, but it is rewarding. It is fun. It's one of those things that when you finally get to see the movie that you've worked on or in on screen, you'll spend your time probably forgetting that you're at the movies, and you're going to sit there and you'll be like, oh my god, where am I? Or in some of the cases for some of the productions I've worked on, it's knowing that behind the scenes you have done something that people watch on screen, be it TV, be it computer, be it in theater, and that actually means more to me than getting a retail job. Don't get me wrong, I've worked retail for 8 years prior to me going to the military and doing my stuff, and I think I even spent 3 months when I was able to, after my leg injuries. I worked as a butcher, so it was interesting and it was difficult. I mean, because now I spend a lot of time in in film and TV, it leaves sometimes when I do have breaks that I could do stuff like go to the gun range and train, which I still do. God, I love it. I love shooting stuff off and putting holes downrange and working on my marksmanship, which I've got nothing but time now to do. And then I spend I get calls out every now and then to become an undercover police cop like this. Got a chance to grow out my hair instead of keeping my hair short. It just leads to one thing to another, and then anytime that I'm not working, it's trying to figure out how can I make my YouTube channel flourish? How can I make my YouTube channel become that much more? So it's become recent that a lot of my time, like I've got a lot of footage on my computer of stuff that I've done, and I don't like editing, and I find that a medium like this, being able to broadcast live, is probably a little bit better, because then it means that you're kind of forced to play a little bit safer, and I find that it's a little bit cooler, I think, to do something like this, and it allows me to put footage up right away and not necessarily worry about having to edit or splice stuff together. So it's a cool little medium, and with this channel I'm hoping to do a little bit more and be able to put stuff up that people will like to see. And on that same note, there are times where I won't be able to put stuff up because I'll probably be attached to a project. I'll be either in front of a camera or behind a camera. I'll be on set somewhere, or I'll be on stage helping a show do their thing. It's one of those things, and it's trying to find and strike a balance between keeping this channel going, because I want to see this channel flourish. I really do. And I think that this channel could be a lot of fun. It's, again, just trying to put my voice out there and being able to talk, because that's another problem that I have, is that I hate public speaking, and the fact that I'm doing this, and I'm doing this live, no less, will help me as well. It'll help me become comfortable in my own skin when I finally start to do on-stage or on-set acting, or become a stunt actor, because that's what I also do as well, is that I'm working and training to become a stunt person. One, there's not a lot of women in it, and two, it's something to keep me going. I like kind of putting myself in a situation where you know, things might go wrong, possibly, maybe. But at the exact same time, I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I do it for fun. I do it for the entertainment, and it's been nothing but great to me so far. And it's interesting because a lot of people that I've talked to, they seem to think, oh, you work in film. Is that really real? Is that what you actually do? Yes, it's what I do. I work in film. I try to give people, you know, a back seat to, or not necessarily back seat, but behind the scenes look as to what some of us do, how much effort goes into it. And yeah, I've got a couple of videos up, and God, I should probably do more for the locations department, because one of the things that I do for crew work, especially in locations, is that I train. I train the new people. And funnily enough, the people that I've trained, they get more work than I do. So it's, for me, I'm struggling to try sometimes to make ends meet. Film is not a steady job by any means. Film is difficult. The hours are long. They are brutal. You'll sometimes end up with, oh God, standard 15 hours. And that's where I work. United States is different because they have a different system and setup. But in Canada, especially up in Hollywood North, because I work in Vancouver, it's different. For my department, we work no less than 15 hours. And there are some shows and productions that can go, I don't want to say its name, but it's been a horror story. It's not horror, it's a TV show, but it's, they sometimes do 20 hours. 20 hours. You film for 20 hours. You know how difficult that is? Do you know how hard it is to keep your crew together and functioning? Because after hour 16, 17, you want to do nothing but sleep and crash. There are times where I've wanted to do that, and it's like, you want to do nothing but keel over and sleep, and you can't. Because you have to make your calls, you have to make your day. You have to make sure the scenes that you do are done, because sometimes working on set, you'll have, oh God, like a 9.5 page day. That is brutal. 9.5 pages does not seem like a lot. But 9.5 pages can be anywhere from a single scene, which is highly unrealistic because you'd never see that, to 12, 13 scenes, excuse me. And you're like, what? The longest scene that I've done on set is like 4.5 pages. 4.5 pages of dialogue. I'm a background actor, and I have to stand there, or I gotta walk around, or I gotta make myself look busy. Being crew is not so bad, because you're just there and you kind of let the actors do their thing, and you kind of sit there and you're not supposed to do this, never supposed to do this, but a lot of people spend their time on the phone because they're waiting for, all you hear is rolling, and then all of a sudden, cut, reset, rolling, action, cut, what the hell is that? That could go on for hours and hours and hours and hours. It's like, you want to do nothing but cry in a corner some days. And don't get me started on the weather. The weather can sometimes be just horrendously bad. Just bad. I mean, working out in the pouring rain in the dead of winter, up here, Vancouver is a green winter. Okay? It is a green winter. But it's... oh my God. It's just one of those things, and, you don't know what to do, and... as background, sometimes you're stuck in a tent for like 5-6 hours. You don't work at all, but you get paid. And but as crew, it becomes a little bit more difficult. It becomes a little bit more demanding of you and your body and yourself and others. Sometimes it could just lead to clashes and crap. So that's my thing. I think for my channel going forwards, however, because that's what I should be talking about. I think that's going to be the end point of this, is I will try to put up as many videos as I can when I'm not working and when I'm not exhausted. I'm trying to make a balance of making the videos, especially because they're going to be live, so I have to take breaks in between that. The videos, depending on the games themselves, will probably run hour-long series just so that we can incorporate a lot. Again, it depends on the game. If the game is something like a Happy Room, then I'll do, you know, short little videos, probably 15 to 20 minutes, or stuff like that will probably be relatively short. But anything story driven will probably be longer, a little bit more towards the hour long areas. I started Five Nights at Freddy's last night, and I found that the audio didn't take, so it's going to be interesting to see how it works, and I probably should have checked to see if the audio works. So it's just one of those things. But yeah, as I said, I started Five Nights at Freddy's last night. There was no audios. There were two great little jump scares, and I'm like screaming. And I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's. I kind of refuse to play it. I got a couple of really, really good horror games that I kind of refuse to play, mainly because, not because I get terrified easy, it's just okay, well, that may be a bit of a lie. Maybe a bit of a lie. It might be just kind of something. I don't necessarily do great with horror games, but I do like them, especially with like stuff with Alien Isolation. I really, really want to finish that game. So I want to finish games and give entertainment to you, the viewers, and I hope that you'll join me and support me in my little endeavors here to make this channel as great as I can. For me, it's a hobby, and I actually got a question from a slightly bigger name asking me why I was doing this, and I told him, you know, jokingly, you know, I'm doing this to be rich and famous. You know, we'll be like PewDiePie, or well, we'll skip PewDiePie, Markiplier, or Jacksepticeye, you know, some of those bigger names, right? I'm not doing it to be rich and famous. I do this as a hobby. I do this as fun and as something to give to people. If it turns out that the channel becomes big in some fashion, then, you know, cool. You know, that's great. I'd be happy to, you know, continue to give to the people for that, because I think it's something that they would enjoy quite a bit, and that you would enjoy quite a bit. So yeah, I think that might be it for this little vlog. I'll update, I don't know, in a couple of months, or maybe when I come back from my stunt convention next month. Not July, August. Sorry, I'm still I'm thinking it's July right now, and I don't know why. Well, because stuff. Anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope this was a little bit informative for you. And if you guys would like to support me in any way you can. I know that I should have links and stuff up for stuff. I originally came from Twitch, and I kind of shut down on Twitch because it just wasn't helping. A lot of the stuff that I was seeing on Twitch was just too competitive, and it was difficult for me to get viewers, and it wasn't as entertaining as doing this is now. So yeah, I think I'm gonna settle into my little YouTube channel, make sure stuff is going, and I hope to see you guys in the next video and anything else that I have going forwards. And if you have any questions about my life in film or on stage, or anything that you would like to know, please hit me up with a message. I'm more than happy to answer, as long as it's not too personal. And yeah, anyways, thank you guys very much, and I'll see you next time. Alright, ciao.